Gear Tasting Radio is brought to you by Imminent Threat Solutions. ITS provides knowledge that empowers individuals with indispensable skill sets to explore the world and prevail against all threats. Right now, as a special thank you for all podcast listeners, we're offering 10% off in the ITS store. Simply use the code GTR to save 10% at store.itstactical.com. Welcome to Gear Tasting Radio, where we discuss the usage and philosophy behind the equipment in our lives. I am joined by Rob Henderson.
Hello.
And I'm Bryan Black. Today we are going to continue our talk about revamping a bolt bag, bug out bag, what have you.
Bag.
A bag.
Yeah. You assign the adjective.
Yes. The adjective bag.
Yes.
That's what we'll call it.
There we go.
So last time we kind of deconstructed everything. I pulled everything out. I broke down the categories that I had in my bag. And if you haven't heard the last episode, please go back and check it out. I will try to kind of recap along the way, but suffice to say, I had a bag that I have in a GoRuck GR2. I had stuff stored in it. I probably hadn't gone through it in, what did we determine, 4 or 5 or quite a while.
Judging by those power bars.
Yeah. I had power bars that were fairly old.
You could just end it with, I had power bars.
Yeah. Do they even make those anymore?
I don't know. I haven't seen one. Everybody's upgraded now.
Yeah. Yeah. So if you're still eating power bars, you're probably like me and need to revamp your kit.
Yeah, apologies to anyone that still eats them.
But what I'm trying to do, too, is on these successive episodes is I want to break down the categories and talk about what I'm doing to make changes to update these, because it's important to update it. A lot has happened since I put this bag together. My experiences have changed. The gear that I carry has changed. So many things have changed, and I want my kit to more reflect that. So one of the big premises that I follow now is lightweight. Mm-hmm. So I have trimmed down absolutely everything I carry, whether that's backpacking, whether that's going into the field for shooting, anything that I know I'm going to have to be carrying my gear, it's got to be light. And I think I've learned that from... Well, I think a couple of the events that I've been to, like the Mammoth Sniper Challenge, have really reinforced that, because it's shown me what I really can live without and what I really need. Because you're out on your own for 3 days, you're camping overnight with 2 nights, and you are carrying everything you need to shoot the competition, including your tent, or including your shelter or whatever that may be.
Yeah.
So that's kind of helped me reanalyze what I'm carrying. As well as just I'm paying more attention to equipment now. So I think we talked about this with like watches the other day. We had a watch conversation. We're talking about the one watch or, things like that. So that's kind of more my philosophy now is I've used so many things for so long now that I think that I pretty much know that I found the one thing.
Yeah.
However, I'm not opposed to continuing to look as new things come around.
Sure.
But I'm at the point now... ITS is a decade old now.
Right.
I've been through a lot of different knives and lights and things like that, so I really know I can make a more educated decision now.
And you're ready to pick one thing that you know is proven that can be,
So what I want to do is just quickly go through what I had before for Fire and Light, and then I'll talk about what I've revamped it to include or not include. So before, I had a little Fernell Lens. It was in a little container, which is good, but however, through years of use, it's kind of curled and things like that.
Yeah, it looks like it's deformed a little bit.
So I am going to replace it. I've got they call them NATO matches. They also call them boat matches, but I've got a little container of these that, it's good. It's never been opened. However, it's a little bulky for my taste. I'm going to replace that too. Now, this isn't, I guess you could consider this Fire and Light because I carry the Mora fire knife, and one of the great things about it is that in the hilt of the knife, it's got a removable ferro rod, so you can actually spark it, accompanied by the fact that the spine of the knife has a nice 90-degree angle, and it is really conducive to sparking. And
it's super hard to beat this knife for a bushcraft knife.
Yeah,
it's light, sharp.
And the other thing too is I'll always have a pocket knife. I don't go anywhere without one. So if I had to grab this bag, suffice to say I will not only have a pocket knife in my pocket, but more than likely I'll also have my flashlight too, which that's kind of a supplement to this, and I'll get into that in a minute. But so anyway, that was already in there to light my fire, more a knife. And then I had some Pink Lady candles. There were 3 of them that were vacuum sealed. I'm going to hang on to those too. I think those are still good, even though they've gotten hot and kind of melted a little bit and bended. They're still really good. They're not to the point where they've all melted together into one clump.
You could bend it back.
They're still
or
separate
hold
candles.
It in something.
Right.
It's hard to beat static light like that from a candle too.
Right. And that's kind of why I am going to keep them, because if you need a static flame light source, nothing is going to beat something that's slow burning. And the Pink Lady candles are really good because they are slow burning.
Yep.
So
you have to sit there with a lighter.
Yeah. However, you know, I'm sure everybody's been around wind with a candle, and it just doesn't. It's not really conducive to that.
Yeah.
So there's a time and a place, right? Then I've got a little film canister of cotton balls dipped in Vaseline. That's going, meaning it's getting axed. The quadruple aught steel wool is getting axed. Both of those are great fire starters, but I'm baking in some different stuff now.
I do like that you have the 4 zeros written on it. It can't just be steel wool.
No.
It has to be the gauge, as if you had another canister with steel wool hanging
You know
around.
who you're talking
I
to,
know,
right?
it's like-
Right. Yeah. Labels, man, labels. You're lucky there's not a label maker on there. But
this was
if it would have
label maker.
No, I had a label maker, but I thought stuff gets hot.
Right.
The label's going to peel off.
There we go.
And then I won't know the difference between cotton balls
I won't
and steel
know what
wool.
kind of steel wool I have.
Dang it, man! Is this quadruple aught
Yeah.
or triple aught? And then I also had a little light my fire container. They called it Maya Dust. I don't know if they still call it that. It's really just fat wood shavings is what it is. So they used to have these plastic containers, and I'll talk about that in a minute. That's going to go in favor of the new canisters they have. It's a little tin. It's a little more rigid. I'm sure it weighs a little more, and that's kind of counterintuitive. However, you'll see some choices that I've made to replace things are more on the durable side as well, rather than just a weight consideration. Then there was another candle that I had that's a little worse for wear here. I don't even know.
If those are called Pink Lady candles, I don't know. I don't want to know what that one's called.
It's called the Dude.
Yeah, yeah.
And then this is really cool. This is a testament to why I don't depend on a lighter. Everyone's like, I just carry a lighter, and that's the only thing I need, because even if it runs out of fuel, I'll still be able to spark it. That's great. However, it's a piss poor sparker, for one. And 2, I had this as a full lighter in my kit. Granted, it's been 4 or 5 years or whatever, and I'll hear the argument. They're like, "Oh, you should check your stuff." I get it. In a perfect world, yes, you should check your stuff once a year, if not every 6 months. However, this lighter that was full is completely out of fluid. Hear that?
I thought you were going to spark that by your head. Like, don't
No, it still sparks, but the fluid's gone. So if you were to depend on this as your lighter, which a lot of people do, what's to say that little gas release doesn't get depressed in your pocket too when you're carrying it around? So it's just not a good idea to rely on one source, and that's why you see all the redundancy too here. It's not just because I think that I'm never going to be able to light a fire, so I need so many reasons or so many ways to light a fire. It's just that things happen. You can never really depend on one method.
Well, I think it speaks to how important fire is.
Yeah.
Like we've talked about that before.
And then I've got this little sparker. It's like a plastic sparker. It's got a flint in it. It's a non-replaceable flint. So I'm going to upgrade that too. I've got one of these Magnesium fire starters, the old GI ones. I absolutely hate these. These are called, I don't even know. It's a Doan Magnesium sparker. That's the company that manufactures them, DOAN. And these are like the most well-recognized survival kind of thing out there.
I'm going to say I'm pretty much sure anyone listening has one of these somewhere tucked away,
it's
even if you don't use it.
It's a big rectangle. It's got a little ferro rod integrated into the top of the magnesium bar. The magnesium bar can be chipped away, and magnesium is a fire-starting aid. However, I've used one of these before, and you can actually see it on this one. I've carved this up and tried to use magnesium, and it's just a pain in the butt. It's in my opinion, there's so many better ways to light a fire than having to deal with one of these things. The other thing, too, is you have to carry a little striker around, too.
Right.
And the ferro rod that's on the top is horrible.
Yeah, and it's built in, not replaceable.
Yeah, that one has actually sparked pretty good.
Starting
Anyway,
fire.
I still don't like it. No, sir, I don't like it. Then I have some Tinder Quick tabs. There's 10 of them. Since I've put these in here, Tinder Quick has actually made them better. They're a little more bound up now. There's some coloration to them now. Like if you were to compare the old ones to the new ones.
Yeah, it's almost like they have like a wax or
they almost have
something in them.
I think that's almost like a string. It's kind of got a hex pattern in it now, where they did before, but there was nothing kind of holding them together.
I still think these are unbeatable when it comes to Tinder.
Amazing.
They are amazing.
The reason I like them too is not just because you can put a spark in one and it's your fire. It's that they are so effective with a spark. So you can fillet one of these out. So that's kind of how you do it. You rough up one side of these so it kind of feathers, if you will, and you can spark right into this thing, and it's just, you can spark a used lighter. Like, that's how good they are, is they'll light from a spark on a crappy Bic lighter.
And they last a pretty good amount of time burning-wise.
They do,
for starting a fire.
So just to recap, light my fire knife, Fernell Lens, waterproof matches, 3 pink lady candles, Magnesium, which is basically fat wood shavings, steel wool, quadruple aught steel wool, cotton balls dipped in Vaseline, a lighter that does not function, only as a sparker, a small sparker in itself that has a non-replaceable flint, 10 Tinder Quick tabs, a dude candle, a magnesium fire starter,
and a partridge in a pear tree.
With a little, so this is the sparker that I put on this on a little chain is actually from a hacksaw.
I was going to say, it looks like a hacksaw blade.
Cut down a hacksaw blade. So if you need a little thing to spark with, hacksaw blade works great for that. And then also one of these little Petzl E-lights, which is very small, but however, I have a huge problem with that, and I'll address that in a minute. So there's what it was, and this is going to be what it's going to be now. Now, I'll pull some stuff over that I had in that pile a little bit, but for the most part, I've replaced the Fernell lens. This is actually one that comes in our little ITS survival kit, a little MSK or mini survival kit. And if you're not familiar with the Fernell lens, this is the little lens that old people use to read the newspaper, or like my dad, when he goes out to eat, he busts this out of his wallet and reads the menu with it. But it's also a great fire starter. You can harness the power of the sun, direct it into your pile of not leaves, because leaves are a horrible fire starter. But that's what I used to use as a kid all the time. Yeah. I would burn leaves with them. Anyway, then I've also supplemented this with 4 123 batteries. These are lithiums, and I talked on the last episode about the fact that every battery I have now is lithium. It will only be lithium, and I'm just a huge lithium convert because they do not leak. So not only are they temperature resistant, but they will not ruin your electronics because they leak. And it happens so many times.
You are so anti-alkaline batteries.
No, it's terrible. I hate them. I talk about hate a lot. That's one thing I hate. I remember what it was. We're trying to think of what it was that recently happened. It was a Christmas ornament.
Oh.
We stored Christmas ornaments inside, and even that leaked from those little button cells that were not lithium. But yeah.
Why do you have a Christmas ornament that has batteries?
Because I have a Darth Vader Christmas ornament.
You guys have a fake tree, though, right?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Battery-operated ornaments on an actual tree are probably not a great match.
No. You're right about that.
Yeah.
All right, so again, I upgraded the fatwood shavings.
And so this is from a different company, though, right?
No, they're both. Oh, yes, they are. That's made by Exotac. Okay. So it wasn't the container that's upgraded. We actually went with a different company. So we were using the Light My Fire Maya Dust, which is fatwood shavings. But this is a Tinder tin from Exotac. This is what we sell in the store now.
They're pretty cool.
Yeah, so we sell both the fatwood sticks and the shavings. And I have actually integrated the two together because there is a time and place for fatwood shavings, and there's a time and place for more slivers of that. And I actually like to use both. So I'll have a bed of shavings, and then I'll start piling on a couple little sticks of fatwood too, because once the shavings get started, they'll immediately catch those, and then it buys me a little more time to start adding my...
Yeah, you don't have to have fire panic, which I run into sometimes. Like, I gotta add.
Well, that's why you should, we'll get into that in another episode. Yeah, we should organize your Tinder, kindling, and fuel in piles and have plenty of it.
Yeah.
And then I've gone with the pocket matches that we have, the waterproof pocket matches. These are NATO matches just like the other ones, but I'm also not so hardcore about these needing to be in a waterproof container. because I've literally lit these before, put them in snow, and pulled it right back out, and it was still going. So they're amazing matches, and even if they get wet, they're going to work, which is an underrated tool to have at your disposal. And then I've also included a little Magnesium pencil sharpener. And what this is good for is to take sticks, and you can actually make your own shavings with sticks you find on the ground. So if you run out of things like the fatwood shavings, you can make your own shavings, and it makes really good tinder, basically. So, plus it's magnesium. If you really wanted to go the old magnesium route, I guess you could shave some of it off.
I think it's great, too, because you're not running out of something.
Right.
You can always pick up a stick and make your own tinder.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and technically, I guess you could sharpen the little sharpener blade if you needed to, but
it's just keeps it rolling.
However, I don't carry a sharpener in this kit at all.
Cross that bridge when you get there.
Yeah. Anyway, so and then I've upgraded the sparker that I have with our sparker. This is our brass fire starter, and it throws a huge spark. Plus, it's got a user replaceable flint in it, so you could carry a package of flints if you need to. I wouldn't put those in this kit. It's just me. I think you're going to be fine with just that flint because there's another flint inside the lighter if it runs out of fuel. And I did put a new lighter in here, so this is a full Bic lighter. And yeah, I know I just talk crap about carrying a Bic, but
I don't think your argument is that
like
you shouldn't ever carry a lighter.
Right.
It's just that you shouldn't rely on a lighter as your only means. I mean, there's no question a lighter's super easy to use, and it's nice to go psh and have fire.
Again, I updated the Tinder Quick tabs to some new ones, and then instead of the Petzl E-Light, I ran into a problem one time when I was camping. Almost got mauled by a bobcat.
Slight problem.
And I'll never use a Petzl E-Light again because it was a terrible light. I almost fell off a tree. Actually, it was like a down tree that was across the stream that we had to cross. Anyway, long story.
How a Petzl E-Light almost killed me.
Yeah, pretty much. Anyway, so now I've gone with a Princeton Tec. This is by far my favorite light. Not only can I carry 123 batteries and they'll be used in my headlamp, but they'll also be used in the flashlight I EDC with. So it's kind of a dual purpose item. And you should always try to do that with batteries, and what you're carrying is the more things that can be powered by the same battery, the better off you are. So with this, it's a 123 battery, so it's more powerful as far as the light goes. It's more lumens. So it's got 3 LED lights in here. They're all red, and a single press of this light turns them on low power. So 3 red LEDs on low power. And the reason I like red is because it saves your night vision. And that may not seem like a big deal, but when you are walking around at night or having to do anything night-wise functional, you really need your night vision.
Absolutely.
You may be staring at a fire, and that's counter to your night vision. However, though, walking around, I feel more comfortable if I have a red lens. And what's great is that's the first press. So meaning I'm not going to accidentally AD a white light.
Yep.
And it's going to come on. So then the second press makes that 3 red LED more powerful. So that's another step up. And then if I hold down the button, it goes to white light. And it's the bright white light. There's not a second press to make it brighter. It's just full bore, lots of lumens, white light.
I think that is the optimal headlamp configuration.
And then it's a headlamp, which I like this too because I can take it and just wear it around my neck, and when I need it, I pull it up onto my head, and now I get a headlamp, and it's hands-free. So before, I had a bunch of these photon lights, and that's one thing I didn't mention. I had 3 of those little photon micro lights in white, and now I've just got 1 in red. And I like this too because it's got a constant on switch, so it's got a little switch you can hit with your fingernail, and it just stays on. So that's a big thing with these. If you are going to invest in these little photon micro lights, we have in the store, we have white, red, and IR. But we carry the ones that have the little switch on them. And if you buy a knockoff, it's probably not going to have that little switch on it. So
switch is good for signaling too.
Yeah,
Put it on the end of cordage, swing it around.
Yep. So, and then the flashlight I will have at all times. That's the Streamlight ProTac 2L. It's my go-to for EDC flashlights. And I will also continue to have the Light My Fire More knife. I will pull over the Pink Lady candles, and that is it. So,
whoa, you're leaving the 4/0 steel wool?
Yes, I'm leaving that behind. So what this looks like, batteries I really wouldn't put in fire and light. However, they still kind of fit into this.
So I have a little storage cell container that's got 4 123 batteries in it. I like the Surefire 123s.
Yep.
Most 123s are all lithium. So, but however, I've had really good experience with the Surefire 123s. They seem to last longer to me. I don't know if that's a myth, but I seem to think they do.
Those are my Amazon gift card batteries.
Yeah.
That's what I buy. If you have an Amazon gift card and you don't know what to spend it on, get yourself a 12-pack of Surefire batteries.
There you go.
Yep.
So I've got that. New Fernell Lens, light my fire more knife, 3 pink lady candles, ITS waterproof matches, the Tinder tin with the fatwood shavings as well as the chunks of fatwood, a single large-scale Bic, a Princeton Tec Headlamp, and this, I wish I knew the model number on this.
I'm pretty sure it's the Remix.
I think it's the Remix Pro.
Yeah.
I'll make sure it's in the
we'll
episode
link
intel.
to it.
10 Tinder quick tabs, our brass fire starter, the ITS brass fire starter with the replaceable flint, then a little magnesium sharpener, a red photon microlight, and of course my ProTac 2L Streamlight. So that's my fire and light changeover, and that's what I'll have. And obviously the flashlight would be in my pocket, so really I've reduced this footprint pretty significantly in terms of what I have for fire and light. So I guarantee there is a weight savings. I don't know how much it is. I will have to weigh it to find out, but I really do. I feel much better about having these items.
Yeah.
And I mean, looking at that stuff that I did put in there, I'm almost like, why did you do that, dummy? But you know, that was me then. This is me now.
It's good to see the progress.
Yeah. So that's what I really wanted to talk about on this, was just kind of how you should look at fire and light and maybe some options that you can use at home too. Thanks for listening to Gear Tasting Radio. Remember, if you have questions, use the #, Gear Tasting on any social media network, and we will find them and answer them here on the show. However, for the next few episodes, it might
someday
it might not happen for the next few episodes because I am going through my bag as we continue. Tackled the fire and light category. We'll have a new category next week, so please join us. And remember to check out our Crew Leader membership. It's our way of giving you back something in return for helping to support the show monetarily. And if the crew membership isn't something that's in the cards for you, please share our video. So go on to YouTube, share the YouTube video. We record this on YouTube as well as a podcast, so you can pick up either medium to watch and listen with that. Or if you're just listening to this on Apple Podcasts, we'd love for you to go on to the show, give us a rating, give us a review. It helps us get out the show to more listeners, or it helps Apple do that for us. So thanks, Apple.